Hello, I'm Justin, and this is Digressions, a daily vlog. And today is a continuation of yesterday's monologue about the magical work. So this is the magical work part 2, and in some ways it is motivated by a conversation I had this morning with a couple of people, including Sharon, who watched yesterday's talk. And so, as well as talking to everyone in the audience, this talk is a continuation of the talk earlier today with Sharon. And Sharon was interested in what I meant by the occult or by magic, and she asked, is that a metaphor for the things that we can't explain? And that might be one way of putting it, but I also think that if we're going to say that, we have to think of metaphors for other things too, like the metaphor of science, or the metaphor of art or religion. In fact, I'm taking these other fields of thought from the system that I came across by a magician by the last name of Schnell. And Schnell believed that there are basically 4 paradigms of human thought. One being religion, one being art, one being science, and one being magic. And if science is a field that deals with the rational, magic deals with the super rational. And one might argue that art does as well, and religion. And I'd imagine there is overlap between these 4 paradigms. And when I think about magic, I think about something that, on one hand, it can be conditioned and one can learn it. But as far as I'm concerned, magic is something that comes about when you get rid of a lot of conditioning and perhaps to get in touch with it, one needs time and space. So there's an echo, I think, between the sort of hermetic, religious tradition and magic. And maybe I'm thinking about this in my life because I'm looking to downsize. I'm looking to get rid of things that are not essential to me anymore. things that are weighing me down and getting in the way of perspective. I want to empty myself. I want to open myself. I think that I am at my best when I am open. And I think to do this, I might need to do that old magic trick of disappearing. And it's strange to say that I'm disappearing when I'm recording videos like this that on the one hand seem very public. I mean, am I not trying to build an audience? Maybe. But maybe I'm just trying to clear my head. I think that aspect of clearing one's head is connected to getting outside of conditioning and understanding that one can recondition. One of the stories that I heard when I was younger about Aleister Crowley, early 20th century magician, occultist, and hype animal, someone who dubbed himself the wickedest man alive. Well, he taught his students that one of the things that has to be removed to understand magic is the ego. And to do that, one needs to stop thinking in terms of I or me. And one of the exercises that he had his students do, mind you, this could be apocrypha, but I think it kind of rings true and it has metaphorical power. What Crowley would have his students do is write a letter. And in this letter, they could not use the letter I. Now, perhaps initially one just removes the I in terms of first person, but to increase one's attentiveness, one starts to remove the I's in other words. And once his student could successfully write a letter that had no letter I's in it, a document of some sort, that still read naturally, he would introduce new letters of the alphabet that would be removed. And eventually, his students would be able to use only 15 letters of the alphabet to write multi-page documents that read naturally. And on one hand, this is a parlor trick, but it's also something about concentration and learning how to do something with one's concentration. In a way, it doesn't matter whether others can see it or understand it or respond to it. But instead, what's important is that one understands what one can do. It opens up new potentials. And that opening of potentials is a kind of exercise of consciousness. And I think this series, talking about magical works, is going to continue. For now, I'll leave you with this odd story about Aleister Crowley taking away the eye of the ego, and how that is also tied into linguistics, not just psychology, and parlor tricks and attention. And it's time to disappear until tomorrow. Please like, subscribe, or comment. I'd love to continue this conversation, but if it's just a conversation with myself and people that I see face to face, that's okay.